Hey folks, Colin here from Sumthins Recording, and today I want to show you one trick for getting fatter drums with tape saturation. We're going to be exploring using tape saturation to fatten up your drum mix today, but before we dive in, if you're looking to dial in a repeatable workflow for cranking out professional sounding drum mixes, then I want you to go through my 3-step framework for mixing drums workshop. This workshop is going to walk you through the 3-step process that I use on almost every single one of my mixes to get professional sounding drum mixes right from your home studio. It is a 100% free to watch, on-demand video training, and you can get free access to it by clicking the link below in the video description. Now let's jump in here and take a look at this drum kit. Let me start, of course, by hitting play here so you can hear what the drums sound like in the mix here, and then we'll dive into just the drums by themselves as well. So here's our finished mix for this song. So it's a good sounding drum kit. Our snare's got some nice crack to it. Our kick drum's got some nice top end punch, some good low end to it. Our cymbals aren't overly harsh. They've got good brightness to them. I just want to take the whole package here and fatten it up a little bit. We're going to try a couple different things here. The first is going directly right onto the drum bus here. So you can see all of our drum tracks here, kick, snare, toms, overheads, room mic are going right into the drum bus here. I'm going to reach down. I'm going to grab the tape machine here. So the soft tube tape machine, we're going to throw it right on the drum bus here. The other thing that we'll try after here is we'll try maybe duplicating, going parallel with it, and then pulling it up that way. But I want to start by seeing what it sounds like, what we can get right on the drum bus here. So I'm going to hit play, and we're going to start dialing up our amount. We'll mess with our different settings as well as the tape speed here. That's feeling pretty nice to me. You can hear right on this B setting here, we're getting the most fatness from our drums. The other two, maybe some more top end and a little bit more balanced sounding across the board, but on this B setting, we're getting more oomph from our bottom end on our kick and on our snare drum here. I opted for the 15 ips tape speed. It felt thicker and more rounded than the 30 ips. The 30 ips tape speed, the highest tape speed there, didn't feel as rounded to me. It didn't feel as smooth, and it didn't feel like it was working on everything together. It felt more individually focused on elements, whereas 15 ips here, the tape speed, felt like it was working on the drum kit as a whole. I've pulled the amount up to about 6.2 here. I just wanted to be sitting right past the 7 here, in between the 7 and 3 on the VU meter. It felt like that was enough for me to hear the effects of the tape machine without driving it too hard. So let's do an A-B now. with the tape machine, and then I'm going to take it off. We can see where we started here. Definitely bringing a lot of good fatness to the bottom end of our kick drum. A little bit of effect there on the snare drum. You can hear it on the top end crack a little bit and a little bit on the bottom end as well. It gives it an extra bump of weight, but not as big of a difference as it's making on the kick drum, which is really, really nice. So that's one way we could do it here. The other way we could do it, let's see what happens if we mess with it. So we're going to go drum sat. Call it drum saturation. We'll color it white because it's going to be an effect here. Send it out to our mix bus. And then from our drum bus here, we're going to send into our drum saturation. We'll send full signal here. We can turn off this tape machine. But I'm just going to copy this same setting over here for the moment. So now we have a complete copy of our drums here, and we're going to mess with it a little bit. So just an exact copy of our drums here. Let's kind of go back to default here on the unit. Turn it on here. We'll start with A. We'll start on 15 IPS there. And we'll see what we can do. Maybe we'll mess with our input too. The dry wet knob. We have some crosstalk we can add if need be. We can turn noise on. Let's see what all these settings, let's see if we can get something maybe a little bit more exaggerated here. So you can see we're driving it really, really hard here. I've cranked the amount all the way up here. We're on the B setting to get that extra bottom end. We're up at 30 IPS here now, so the highest tape speed. Messed a little bit with the stability. That didn't do too much for me. I messed a little bit with the crosstalk. Wasn't quite satisfied with that. I cranked the input all the way up here at 12 dB, pulled the output down 12 dB, or about that to compensate. And then the other thing I did here was I used the trim here, the high frequency trim, and I've cut the high frequencies a little bit here, and then flip the noise on. So when I originally flipped the noise on, I felt like we were getting too much top end there. But now we're doing something interesting. So we're cutting the top end and turning the noise on. So take a listen one more time as I A/B the tape machine here. You can see I tried doing the same thing again. Didn't sound quite too good. So let's pull this down now and mix it in with just our drums here. So we're going to pull up this saturated drum track and mix it in with our original drums. You can see the final thing I did here was I threw an EQ on and focused it just on the bottom end where we're getting the weight from our kick drum and the weight from our snare drum. So rolling off all that top end cymbal noise and any kind of crack or smack we're getting there as well. So let's go one more time here, take a listen with and without now this drum saturated channel. So we're pushing the tape machine really, really hard and then focusing in on our fundamental frequencies here. So take a listen, just the drums, and we'll throw it in the mix as well here. So if you're struggling to get some extra fatness out of your drums, definitely give tape saturation a try here. So we're pushing our tape machine as hard as we possibly can, amount, input are all the way up here, rolling off some of the top end there, and then doing a little bit more with an EQ. So same kind of thing, rolling off the top end, focusing in on the low end of our kick drum and our snare drum. So we can bring that up and increase the fatness of our overall kit. I hope that was helpful for you. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if you're ready to take your drum mixes to the next level and really start dialing in a repeatable workflow for your drum mixes, then you need to go through my 3-step framework for Mixing Drums Workshop. It is 100% free to watch and it will help you establish a repeatable process for cranking out professional sounding drum mixes. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.